This is the week 5 update for the IBM internship, and this week centered around practical applications. Essentially, what can Watson do within a university, within maybe an IT department, within the library, and specifically Brooks Library, specifically Central Washington. Most of my research based on kind of my prior knowledge was centered around what libraries lack. There are a bunch of different studies, a bunch of different articles based on generally what do libraries lack in terms of technology. And again, generally, you hear complaints about the operating systems are way too old. There's a lack of up-to-date technology, meaning maybe they can't check out laptops. They don't have the funding for laptops. They don't yet have Wi-Fi, stuff like that. Things that basically, if you do not have that personally and you wanted to go to the library, you wouldn't be able to do that. Obviously, it is a case-by-case basis. Every library is different, and you have public libraries, academic libraries, special libraries, all that kind of stuff. For the Brooks Library, and just from personal experience, there is a lack of technology, but not in the way that most people would think. Basically, we do have Wi-Fi. It might not be incredibly strong. You might not be able to reach it from the 4th floor. Just tiny things like that that could be optimized by using cognitive or Watson specifically. And again, it would depend on the actual library, whether or not they have the hardware, the software, or the budget in order to implement some of the services that IBM provides. What could the Brooks Library benefit from? Generally, it could be possible to implement some services. However, due to the fact that I only research the general, what are libraries lacking, I would need more research into what specifically our library lacks, and could Watson alleviate some of the problems. Another thing that I researched this week was the potential benefits that cognitive education could be kind of implemented within the IT department of my university. Basically, this week was kind of end-of-the-road research before I start making recommendations, creating recommendations based on all of the data that I've collected. What I've seen generally, again, throughout this internship, is cognitive does work. It can be practical. It is just broad enough for you to stick any kind of idea or mechanics into the kind of default applications that they have, like natural language, discovery, those kind of things. All you need is an idea. The prices for each of these applications vary, and for a lot of them you do need to price them out within IBM, but it does seem practical. So with this knowledge, that is where I can start creating maybe more practical recommendations. It was definitely, from the beginning of my internship to now, I've kind of seen that it is reachable. Prior to this internship, Watson was this, abstract idea that, well, you can do anything, but you can't do anything. Now at the end, kind of as we're approaching the end of this internship, I've found that it would be practical. You would have to kind of talk with stakeholders in order to kind of understand what they need and what would work. And also, again, finding a practical application that you could potentially use and that would educate both students and staff, administration, that kind of thing. It would have to be mutually beneficial for everyone involved. So next week, using all of this information that I've collected, I'm going to start kind of giving my recommendations for the final presentation. It will be very fun and definitely trying to find solutions that can be implemented, that, seem realistic, and address each person within, I guess the presentation room, the library administration, IT department, etc.